Hello planet and welcome back to the channel. This is the part 2 of our ongoing conversation with Lieutenant General Guru Bakshi, who belongs to the ninth course of the JSW, the Joint Services Wing, which later on became the National Defence Academy. In the part 1, you saw how a young Guru Bakshi went on to join the JSW, his experiences, his memories of childhood, the kind of struggles which the family was going through and how he understood that how he had to take care of his entire family and of his parents' aspirations from a very humble beginning to reaching into the JSW, to making the mark and then passing out of the JSW with a +1 grading of those days is actually remarkable. So sir, welcome back, and now in this part let us hear something from you about your commissioning into the regiment of the army, and then how did your service career unfold? It's a pretty longish span. I think if you can, or maybe you can divide this into a few phases, but let's hear from you. How did you start? Which was the regiment you joined, and what were the high points of your career, including your tenure at the National Defence Academy as a divisional officer with the Charlie Squad?
If I can just mention a few words on IMSA, because JSW are covered. You see, what happened was I went to IMA and they, because of my academic performance +1, they were wanting to post me to engineers. And I knew very well that while in JSW, academics mattered a lot and I'd worked hard, but ignored all outdoor activities, not done anything in them. While in IMA, in order to do well, you had to excel in outdoor activities. With this change, I requested that please don't send me to engineers. I would like to be in the non-technical branch. They were wondering, why is he saying so? I had to struggle to convince them that I will not be comfortable and you allow me to be in infantry, etc. And I don't want to go to engineers. With a lot of struggle, it took me whole day, and they finally agreed very reluctantly. But thereafter, I hadn't played sports in my school as such. So I also honed on, what can I do now at this stage? Everybody has to do things at various stages. So I shortlisted, I can run. Nobody can stop me, so cross country. I can run, so athletics, 3 long distance, 800, 1500, 5000. I can get hit and I can hit boxing. I can do well in PT. I am flexible and I am hard, I can work hard. I can do well in drill. I picked these and did these.
Wonderful.
Now the story is like this, that starting in the last 20, wherever I was, to in 50s, from JSW, I passed out 11th in order of merit, the only one to pass out and then go to Command Regiment.
Marvelous.
So that is my story. 4 of us went, and I was the one who got this choice of regiment based on this.
So which was the regiment, sir?
Command Regiment.
Which two commands?
My regiment was Command Regiment. I picked a command. The commandant was on command. And I felt very proud when my father came for the passing out. He told him, your son has done very well. I like him and he's coming to my regiment. So these are moments of great pride for anyone. So that is how it is. My father felt also very happy, very proud. And so that is the start. So I went to Battalion 14 Command, which is today MEC Battalion, converted. To my very good luck, late General Raina, who became the chief in the Indian Army, got posted as the commanding officer when I had just put in about 6 months in the battalion. And I was appointed as his IO, intelligence officer, which is an appointment which is very, very intimate with the boss. And you work with him and you learn a lot. And I definitely learned hell of a lot from General Ryan. And he was my idol, icon, and in every way, as a person, as a human being, as a professional, and I thought the maximum of him out of all the people that I have met. So he taught number of things, and I would mention them as I go along, maybe somewhere as to what he said. And if I may say so, this is good luck. So I worked all right, and I did the best I could, as one always does. But I think I was lucky to have someone mentoring me and also guiding me, who was himself an idol and a very good man. That's it. So that is the start.
I saw, I went to the Rezangla War Memorial last year, and I saw with my own eyes, how the Kumaon regimental folks had fought that battle, and I saw the effort of then Brigadier Rana, and the way that memorial has come up.
Yes.
So I think you would be having so many reflections of 62,
20.
65, 71.
No doubt about it. Actually, I am talking only of the macro things and major things. The reason being, there are lifetime you can collect so many memories.
Yes, absolutely.
And so many things. But nevertheless, I would end this part here and to say that my tenure in the battalion, which was 6 years, was a very good one. 2 years under then Colonel Raina and the other COs. And we were in J&K most of the time and doing our work and learning a lot. In between, I also got a chance to work in brigade headquarters on attachment. So thereafter, I was posted to NDA as Div Officer Charlie Squadron. And also I did G3 training in the Dome. Mm-hmm. And I had occasion to get to know the officers from the other services, some very distinguished officers. The commander Kripal Singh was my first battalion commander, who was a very upcoming naval officer, and everybody talked that he would one day be an admiral, undoubtedly. Anyway, so I first him. Then when he got posted out, Vek Barboza came, who was FOC. And I dare say that Commander Kripal Singh chose me to be the LO to the Chief of the Naval Staff when he came for the reviewing parade. I mean, which is, again, you select somebody on whom you have faith. And then Vek Barboza was so fond of me, he firstly became camp commandant of a camp, asked me to be the AQ. Whatever I did, whichever way I did, he was so impressed that they again made him a camp commandant of another camp, Camp Rover, and he put down my name. So I went to his staff officer in the battalion. I said, "What is this? There are 80 captains, and total in 2 years tenure, there are 6 camps that take place, and in 6 camps there are 6 captains required. You have again made me AQ." So he looked at me. He said, he put down your name in his own hand. If you don't like it, I will tell him that you don't like it. I told him, no, that's not the case. So I did that. And he was so impressed that he took me to the Deputy Commandant, Air Commodore Bhatt, and got me a letter of commendation issued that this officer worked with a lot of vision, this, that, and all the others. I was amused because the letter had the subject, commendation cadets. Cadets was blocked and officers written. So anyway, he was very impressed. So then I am saying this for a reason that then he asked me, he says, "I'm not happy. I want to do something more for you." He was so pleased. So I said, "Can I do something for you?" Then I told him, I said, "Sir, I am very keen to do a naval cruise. My turn won't come because only 2 officers go and there is 1 cruise per term. That means total 8 in 2 years. So my turn will not come. So I wondering whether I can be fitted in." He looked at me and said, "Next cruise, 2 months down the line, you are going." So that is it. I may take advantage. And I had a 10 days very nice, memorable cruise with the Navy. 2 captains were there. So I think I made good use of his liking for me. to take some advantage. Otherwise, it was very nice tenure, made a lot of friends in all the three services, and also a lot of cadets who were passing through that time. And then as G3 training, the rule was that if the deputy commandant is from some arm, then the G2 and G3 will be from the other two arms. So Air Commodore Bhatt being Air Force, G2, then Lieutenant Commander J.G. Nadkarni was posted,
Okay.
who became Naval Chief later.
Naval Chief, yes.
And I was the G3 with him. And we got to know each other mightily. Because even as I progressed, he visited me and spent 4 days with me in the division, with his wife. And we were a family then at that point in time. So as a consequence, my NDA tenure was very good. I made very good contacts and with people. And squadron commander was Gabbu Sen, who was AOC in C, Eastern Command. And when I was the Duke Commander later, I requested him, I said, I need a helicopter. He said, yes, it will come to you. That's the advantage. So all advantage I took, and the NDA tenure was very good. And my posting to it came in 65 operations on the day the operation started to move forcefully. And I then joined the battalion and I took part in 65, not very actively. It lasted about total fortnight, but on the hills in J&K, and it was an interesting phase.
Yeah. And then you went on to raise a strike corps.
Yeah. You see, journey goes along. Let me put it, give a thing, because a lot of people talk about promotions and services. There is a distinction to be understood which many people do not know. In any profession, as a matter of normal course, 70 to 80% of people are in their own right fit to hold the next assignment or next rank. Every profession. So is also the case in these services. The difference is that in other professions, they find extra desks and distribute the available files between them. They can have 2 or 3 officers sitting in the same office and 12 files, 4 each distributed.
Yes.
No problem. Everybody is promoted, same rank, doing same kind of work. In services, only one man can be appointed as in charge, commander, and accountable, whether it is battalion, brigade, division. So the number of people who can be fixed in that appointment is just one. And there is no additional, there is not a committee that can sit and command. Now that difference has to be understood. So if somebody does not make it, it is not that he is bad. He is not bad at all. He is as good as many others. But unfortunately, because of this vacancy constraint, he has not been able to get that appointment. This rank, this understanding is lacking both in the civil side and in the services themselves. Sometimes family also says, "Aap to bane na." No. Your father is very good man, very efficient, very knowledgeable, very competent. He hasn't made it, not his fault. It's the lack of vacancies. So that point has to be understood, which many people don't. So I was very fortunate. You need a slice of luck if you have to go up. And that is best illustrated by an example which happened in General Thimaya's case. In his life, he was marched up in Sandhurst for something wrong as a cadet that he did. So the company commander told him, "Timmy, I'm warning you, cautioning you, next time you do it, you will be hauled up. This time I'm giving you warning and leaving you." After some time, again something went wrong and he was marched up again. He said, "This time I'm going to get it." But the company commander forgot that the second time he is coming. So he again told him the same thing. And when he was marched out, the sergeant major who had marched him in told him, "Sir, to be lucky in the army is a great quality, and you are lucky." So I would say I had my humps to cross, at various stages. But I think with kindness of the Almighty and with whatever little effort I could make, I crossed them. And so, as Arun says, the ultimate was that at one stage I was to be promoted as Lieutenant General, and they posted me to raise a corps, which is a great privilege and honor.
Yes.
I think it's a great exercise to raise something. And if I can mention, the one who has not cribbed and complained about change of schools and cope with the situation as it came is best suited to do a thing like this, because you do not get any resources. Men come along, station you go to, they don't want to give you accommodation. Everything you have to fight for, and you have to start ab initio from the scratch. So I think I enjoyed this assignment with its own pains and aches, undoubtedly, but I think it's a very good experience. Today that formation is doing exceedingly well, and I feel so happy that I was the one who breathed life into it first time.
Marvelous. I think, that brings us, my thoughts went back that how many people would have actually got that honor to raise a battalion or to commission a new warship or to commission an air squadron or to, raise a corps. I think if these officers have to be numbered, they would be really very few, sir. So, I mean, if they form a WhatsApp group, I don't think it will cross 40 or 50 or, whatever number.
Yeah.
So, we just used this mug, which belongs to that corps, and I think a rare honor to, see this mug.
Yeah.
But yes, so I think we'll both
We have
show
both
it.
having it.
Yeah, we just had a swig, in the true tradition of the armed forces, and I think really enjoyed doing that. So that brings me again to a point, sir, that one day the armed forces career comes to an end. That time comes, that heaviness, that lump in the throat, as we call it in the Navy, we swallow the anchor. And when I retired pretty early, in 22 years of commissioned service, but for somebody like you who started at 16 years and 5 months and then ran all the way till the age of 60, a 3-star general, when that day comes, how did you encounter that day?
Arun, if I have your permission,
Yeah.
I said something that luck favors. I also want to illustrate that luck at times does not favor, because that also is a point. Before I come to that phase, I want to say that when people ask, have you taken part in this operation, that operation? Do you know? Again, it's a matter of destiny, and I tell you why. When 62 happened, Chinese came. I was in J&K facing the other enemy. And since Brigadier Raina had gone to Ladakh, he had met us before going. He came to this unit because that unit belonged to him. And we spent a day together, and we told him that get us there, we want to go. But I don't think the hostilities lasted long enough for him to organize that, so we missed it. 65 I went, but nothing very big happened in our sector. Matter of chance. Then in 71, we were facing the Chinese, the other enemy, and the Chinese decided not to do anything. There were only very limited number of troops in Sikkim and in Arunachal who were facing Chinese at that time. Everybody else was either deployed on the eastern side or on the western side. So what happens and where you get a chance to gain experience and do something is again a matter of chance, matter of luck. So therefore what happens in your life is not totally attributable to anyone. It is a combination of what destiny has in store for you. So I'm only trying to say this thing, that this is a point which needs to be, oh, you did not attend, you did not take part. Then people are surprised, why? Why is this? And I was commanding a unit at that time, the right time to be doing anything like this. But no, it didn't happen. So that's it. So I thought I just mentioned that. But now coming to what Arun said, the life does not come to an end when you leave or finish a profession. And also, I firmly believe that continuing activity of some kind is the essence of life. And anyone who does not do so is doing a harm to himself. Of that also I have no doubt. Because your wellness and fitness relates to how busy you are keeping yourself at whatever the age. That is the essence. And therefore, my thought was always, and mind you, what you do, there are people who develop hobbies and they indulge in them. I want a little more than that. Hobbies, all right. I don't know. Money was never my focus. Let me state with you. And I'm saying this with certain emphasis because a lot of people these days are focusing a lot more on money. That I'll come to a little later, maybe in the later part. But the fact of the matter is that focus is you do something. You do something which is positive. You do something which is constructive. You do something which gives you satisfaction and give others some benefit and satisfaction. That is the positivity part. So I am very happy to say that post retirement, I did not gravitate into just going to market and doing this shopping for my wife. I did something a little more than that. And I was on offer for anything which appealed to me. Since I had done DG NCC, that was my last appointment, looking after almost 1.3 million, 1.4 million young boys and girls from all over the country for a period of 2 years, and then also giving the exposure to adventures, etc. I was invited to look after an organization called National Adventure Foundation. This organization was set up by one late Brigadier Gyan Singh, who was the leader of the first Indian expedition to Everest, mounted by independent India soon after independence. But it did not succeed. It could not attempt the summit because of bad weather. So it would pull back. But then when he came back, he set up this organization with a view to expose the underprivileged and rural youth to adventure which they cannot do it at their own cost. So very noble aim. And somebody asked me that they need your help and all that. So I said, what is my qualification? I have not climbed Everest. How can I do good to this organization? He said, no, you've been DG NCC, that is enough. So anyway, so that is how I went. But 15 years I looked after this organization. I'm very happy because they were in a bit of trouble. Because such an organization which is not doing work for commercial purposes in a big way, normally is always short of money. So at sometimes, of course, some people also may do things which are not right. So anyway, I had the task to resurrect it and do up. And after 15 years, it is still now also running healthily. And the compliment was paid to me, and I would like to just say by a generous Captain Kohli, who led the successful expedition to Everest,
Yes.
and naval officer. And he was there, and I used to interact with him. He told me that the way you have brought up this organization, late Brigadier Gyan Singh upstairs would be very happy that someone has done this to his organization. So I am grateful to him for saying kind words. But if you work, there will be no rewards other than someone saying good things about you. But that is well worth it. Do something. Do something. Do something. One. And even now, Arun knows I am looking after two organizations, happily so, with a lot of pride and satisfaction, and yet continue to do so at my young age. That is, one is my own course. We formed an association that post-retirement we'll be in touch with each other. That was 1993 we did, because about 80% of my coachmates had retired, both Army, Navy, Air Force. And we are running that organization till today, and actively with number of widows being parked, and gives great satisfaction to bring cheer into their lives. Children look after, But children have a lot of things to do by themselves also. They have their own lives to lead. So sometimes these ladies need to be looked after by their own people at their of their own age group, and we are doing that, which makes me feel very happy because they have a joy in their eyes when they are with us. So as a result, that is one. Secondly, we have a Shahid Samarak constructed in Noida, which is one the best thing. In fact, the local authorities think it is the most iconic place in Noida, which is a compliment to us, with very good garden. And I think so I am still busy. I am not without work, and I am enjoying myself. That is about it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And for our viewers, I think I must put on record that, like I said in the part one, that I know General Bakshi since 2011. And since 2013, we've been running a very active, Foxtrot Squadron Noida chapter. We call it a veterans chapter because there are about 70 odd Foxies, and I think many more to be caught up. Some people are still hiding. And that chapter has been doing a fantastic work. They go by the book every year. There is a proper get together which is organized in the Arun Vihar Institute, and it's a proper lunch which is planned, and the interactions and the way this event is conducted is absolutely marvelous. In fact, today morning when I was coming, sir, I looked at all the the photographs of when we started the chapter to where we are, and it's an amazing effort. So I think we are coming to an end of our part 2 with General Guru Bakshi. He's a man of he's a repository basically, and I think in the part 3 what we would concentrate on with him is his zeal towards life. So do not go away. Look forward to the part 3 with Lieutenant General Guru Bakshi, who belongs to the 9th course of the Joint Services Wing from the Foxtrot Squadron, which later on became the National Defence Academy. I really do hope that you have enjoyed watching the